A very good evening and a warm welcome to this Thursday night's edition of Primetime News. I'm Salima Shumefeleni. We commence with news from the National Assembly. Leader of the Popular Democratic Movement, McHenry Venani, says the elitist approach deployed by the German and Namibian governments' 1904 to 1908 genocide deal has failed to restore the dignity of the affected communities, as it does not take into account their losses in terms of life, livelihood, land disposition and displacement.
The suggested agreement before us is contrary to what was prayed for by and envisaged in the motion by the late Paramount Chief of the Wairau people, Honorable Dr. Kwai Mariruako. In his motion, which was adopted by this August House in October 2006, exactly 15 years ago, the text of that motivation was not ambiguous at all. The spirit of that motivation was more than clear. The essence of that motivation was to persuade the Federal Republic of Germany to accept in no uncertain terms that what its military and political representative did in this country was indeed genocide, as per the definition in accepted international law. Two, show official contrition by way of a formal unambiguous apology to Namibia, and importantly, to the Ovaherero and Nama people to whom the matter is not pure, an academic one. Commit to paying reparations to the communities whose lives and livelihoods were decisively interrupted and altered by the official decisions and conduct of the German Reich in Namibia, including but not limited to the Vernichtungsbefehl, order of extermination, which resulted into the daylight killings, murder, decapitation of men and women and children. With that motion, Paramount Chief Riruako called for genuine and proper reparations, which would be seen as an appropriate and sufficient in the eyes of those tears that are not completely dry. Clearly, the suggested agreement before us does not come close to what can be considered proper atonement for the dignity and wealth that were lost during the genocide of 1908.
Still with the National Assembly, United Democratic Front leader Appius Auchab has said Germany equally meted out genocide against the Damara and San communities. Therefore, the two groups should not be excluded in the ongoing genocide talks.
Genocide talks cannot be based on the extermination order alone. We cannot be that heartless to claim that other tribes did not suffer injustice from the German regime brutality. Honorable members, we are not in denial of the extermination orders issued against Ovaherero and Namas. The order has never been executed to materialize as it was planned practically. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, truly to my historical knowledge, there were no such genocide that has affected only Ovaherero and Namas on the Namibian soil. Such talks in this August House is false, it is wrong, and devoid of all truth. Damaras, Nukwen, and the San as original indigenous people of this land, who suffers the same fate, if not more than any other tribe, is still accommodated. Honorable members, our land has been stolen and accessed by Damara Nukwen and San to land areas left in by their ancestors has been severely constrained through a historical process of marginalization. Let us all condemn politicizing the most sensitive issue of genocide, because the statistics are telling us contrary.
Moving on to health matters, the Cancer Association of Namibia has over the last decade received reports from the National Cancer Registry, which includes all pathology labs in the country, of over 3,780 breast cancer cases, making this cancer the most common in the country.
The Cancer Association of Namibia Chief Executive Officer Rolf Hansen on Tuesday announced this as the organization is preparing to commemorate Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is observed annually in October. Hansen said while 3,681 of these cases were among Namibian women, men accounted for 107 breast cancer diagnoses. Namibia records an average of 3,740 cases of all types of cancers per year, with breast cancer accounting for 368 cases on average. He added that cervical cancer and breast cancer are the most common cancers in women, accounting for an average of 600 cases per year over the last decade. When comparing the Namibian age-standardized rates to international and African cancer trends, Hansen believed Namibia should place a greater emphasis on breast and cervical cancer. On a positive side, he stated that the Ministry of Health and Social Services has implemented cervical screening programs over the last 2 years, and when combined with the Cancer Association of Namibia's national outreach programs, the stronger preventative and earlier treatment therefore are becoming a reality.
The National Youth Council, in conjunction with UNESCO on Wednesday, launched a media and information literacy project in Windhoek.
The project is funded by the Japanese government and aims to educate and empower the youth as well as youth-led organizations on the importance of media information on how to use social media information correctly. Speaking at the launch, UNESCO representative to Namibia Jaffa Musa Al Kadum said the project originated from the World Press Freedom Day hosted earlier this year in Windhoek, which celebrated the 30th anniversary of the Windhoek Declaration. He said the youth will get awareness on how to use media platforms, mainly social media information, responsibly, and will be trained by means of online training, workshops and webinars to navigate the digitalized information ecosystem. The UNESCO representative further said the Windhoek Declaration underlined the importance of information within the online media environment. NYC Executive Chairperson Sharon S. Bush at the same event said the Media and Information Literacy Project's vision is to enable youth to make informed decisions, become actively involved in wide-ranging affairs that affect society, and be the change makers in their professional fields.
Stand by for your top roundup. In a welcome move, the Walvis Bay Corridor Group, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Social Services, Roads Authority and Engine Namibia, today officially launched a COVID-19 vaccination campaign for truck drivers.
In his remarks at the launch, Walvis Bay Corridor Group Wellness Project Manager Edward Shivute said the campaign, which has been running since 3 September at designated sites countrywide, has seen 140 truck drivers being vaccinated so far. Shivute said they are pleased with the uptake from the drivers so far. They've not received any resistance, and this shows that the drivers are encouraging each other to get vaccinated whenever they engage. Most of the drivers are coming for their first dose, which shows that most of them have not yet been vaccinated, he added. He further stated that the company has also been assisting truck drivers with HIV and AIDS treatment and counseling, and has tested over 6,000 drivers since 2007, of which about 500 have tested positive. Commerce Region Health Director Thomas Ukola, who also spoke at the same occasion, said the ministry has formed a strategic alliance with various partners to help with the mass rollout of the vaccination campaign in order to reach the vaccination target of over 60% of the population by March next year.
The COVID-delayed Expo 2020 Dubai commenced today with an extravagant opening ceremony for what is expected to be the world's biggest event since the start of the pandemic. AFP gives us more.
Dubai's edition of the Global Fair, the first ever held in the Middle East, hopes for 25 million visitors over 6 months to its gleaming pavilions in the desert. Dubai's ruler, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, today opened the event group in more than 190 countries, which is promised will be the most exceptional expo in the history of the event. The expo site in the dusty Dubai suburbs has remained strictly off limits during its year-long postponement. Architectural marvels and a long list of technological innovations will feature among the exhibits, showcasing the ingenuity and technological innovations of the participating countries. Expo 2020 will be indelibly tinged by the pandemic, with masks and social distancing mandatory on site. Visitors will need to be vaccinated or have a negative PCR test in order to enter.
We will be back shortly after the economics roundup and the weather forecast.
Good evening and welcome to All Things Sport on Sport Planet. We kick off tonight's edition with some COSAFA news. Namibia and Uganda opened their COSAFA 2021 Women's Championship tournament with a new all draw in Gqeberha, South Africa earlier today.
The two teams created several chances but failed to utilize them on what was a rainy and windy afternoon. Namibia threatened first in the 22nd minute when 41-year-old Stella Williams got to the end of a Millicent Hickwam pass, but her tame shot did not trouble the Uganda shot stopper, Ruth Atoro. Uganda then upped the game and created a few chances, but found Melissa Matthews in great form as she twice came to the rescue of the brave Gladiators. Hickwam then shot tamely at the goal, while Tomalina Adams miscued an attempt at goal to leave both sides level at 0-0 by halftime. The second half was no different and both teams continued from where they left off but failed to find the back of the net. Both coaches made a raft of changes to their teams in a bid to steal the result, but goals failed to come, with the match providing the first goalless stalemate of the tournament.
Very good match in the sense that we got some quality game time in. We were tested, our character was tested, and I think by a very good Ugandan team, a team that I think is really well coached, to be honest with you, and a team that I think can do wonders. And they are now our guests here in COSAFA, so very good competition that we had. And all in all, I think fair reflection, the draw, although I would have wanted more, but I'm satisfied with the draw because the good thing for me is that we didn't lose.
Gladiators captain Emma Naris was named Woman of the Match.
Still on football. The 2017 Namibia Football Association Cup finalists Mighty Gunners and Young African will renew their clash in the semi-finals of the 2021 NFA Awe Cup in Hopabis on 16 October 2021.
This was revealed during the draw conducted in Windhoek, where Blue Waters was paired against Civics for the semi-final clashes at Legare Stadium. Gunners, who lost the NFA Cup final twice so far, in 2013 against African Stars and 2017 against Young African, will be hoping for their third-time luck as they aim to avenge their defeat against Young African. Speaking at the draw, Joseph Ndango of Gunners said his team was well prepared for the tournament and they hope history will repeat itself. Civics team manager Tihano Isaacs said they are ready to play any of the teams who have made it so far. Matthews Haufiku of Blue Waters said history will carry his team through as they have proven in the past to be the Cup Kings. All four teams will then travel to Swakopmund on the 23rd of October to compete in the third and fourth playoffs and the first and second prizes.
Your sports roundup is up next. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's bulletin. Much appreciated for tuning in. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and click on the notifications bell to stay abreast with the latest happenings locally and globally. Do add your comments as well in the comment section. Catch us on the morrow for another edition of Prime Time News. From myself, Michael Madimba, and the entire production crew, it's good night.